You got shit to do.
I ain't gonna pay you, bro, if you don't.
You're not paying me anyway.
Why you keep touching, talking in the context?
Stop talking shit. You on video now, bro.
Okay. I don't like people touching me, bro.
Okay, what's up everybody? Welcome back, and today we have an epic transformation on my homeboy Ken. You might remember him from the Dallas Shag video I shot about a year or two ago, and ever since then he's been growing it out, just let it grow wild. He has a great texture of hair. He has a loose curl pattern. Not thin hair, but his hair is not as tightly wound, and it's a bit silky. This hair texture can give some people issues because it's easier to make a mistake because of the silkiness. So I'll start by just stretching the hair with my fingers. I don't need a comb, and I'm using the 5 guard all the way around first. And I just want to basically take this first layer off to get it nice and even. I'm going with the grain against the grain, and I kind of want to see what those swirls are. Like I said, Ken hasn't had a haircut in about 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 years. So, I kind of forgot where those swirls could be. I know he has a big swirl on the right side of his head, but so I'm just basically putting a bigger guard on. We'll probably end with about a 4 on top, 2 on the sides, just to study the hair. You always want to study. When the client hasn't had a haircut in a while and they do a dramatic transformation, you always want to study their hair first. So I'm basically taking it off, looking, watching, finding certain area key points that I might need to address later. Like I said, you can see the loose curl pattern. One thing that's great about this curl pattern is once I wash his hair or spray water on it, or really even much cut it down, it lays in the direction that I need to go. It kind of transforms with me. All right, so you guys watch me cut it down, and I'll be back in a little bit. But see that very loose curl pattern. All right, see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we actually kept his hair at about a 5 on top. Now I'm taking my 2 and I'm going with the grain with that curl pattern. I'm still watching for any spaces, and I'm basically evening the sides out, kind of right below the occipital bone of the head. Okay, I'm kind of hitting that area still, but you can see I'm lifting the clip with the clippers on top, and I'm kind of landing more flush as I come down and work towards the bottom. After I kind of do that around all sides, comb through, I'll still have a bulk line around the temporal lobe, but I'll come back and clipper over comb that. And then at the very top, I'm going to do scissor over comb. What you're going to notice is, but for the area behind the ears, because that area is kind of usually always thickest, I'm going to kind of go against the grain, tilt the clippers at about a 45-degree angle right there, and just use the corner of those blades to take that thickness off. It's all about working angles, okay? So now after I work that, I'm going to come with my Slimline Pros. I'm doing a low taper fade. I'm keeping that, I'm starting that primary line at the lower part of the temporal lobe, and I'm basically just cleaning it up right there. I rotate the clippers around. I'm never worried about putting a hard line in, because whatever I put, the rule for me is whatever I put that line in with, I can use the same thing to take that line out, okay? All right, so now I'm using my Walls Seniors Cordless Edition, and I'm going to use the 1 guard to start this taper because his hair is thicker on the sides. He has a 2, and like I said, with silky hair, it can sometimes have a thin effect where it comes off easy and you can gap it. Now, although I use my 1 to make that secondary line, now I'm debulking as well with that exact same clipper, lightly feathering out that fade, okay? So that way when I come back with the 2, see, now I'm debulking with my 2. Then when I do my primary debulking, I'll use my 1.5. I know that's quite a bit of information, but you guys can rewind and watch, as you can see right there, and just watch the steps. Now I'm debulking. The reason why I use the 2 first, because I want to thin that area out, because sometimes when you try to fade or debulk in a thicker area with a smaller guard, you can gap. And to prevent a situation that you can't change, or you might have to change the haircut, you just start bigger guards. There's no rule against using the bigger guard. I pull the ear down so that way I can leverage and use the corner of my clipper to help me. I'm on fire today, y'all. Woo! 1 take. All right, so after I work that area, now I'm the clipper of a comb. I'm just debulking. It's a similar form of debulking. So with silky hair, thinner hair, or loose curl hair, you can debulk. See, I lay the comb and I lift to a C-cut motion, and I pull that comb out to where I'm only hitting the edges, 45-degree angle, so that way I can debulk and not take too much away from one area. Okay, so after, if you notice, after I thin that area out, now I come with my 1 and I'm debulking again, but for that primary line. It's all about working down. I work from bigger guards to smaller guards, so that way, when I have a clean workspace, it makes my job very easy to clean the cut up, okay? Okay, so now I'm using my Andes Masters. I love these clippers. What I love about the Andes Masters is that you can see I don't have to use a guard. The standard blade or the comb blade for the Masters, which is the top blade, is so long, the teeth on it are so long that I don't need a guard for certain areas. I just rotate my levers and pick what's comfortable for me to fade certain spots, which is what I'm doing now. I'm basically, now that I debulked, I don't have to stress so much about taking too much off in one area. So now I'm blending out that primary line. If you can see, I turned the clippers upside down, which is like a tiger claw method, which makes the clipper sharper, which is what I can use to take out certain areas that are lower or too low for the clipper. I'm using my 1/16 guard, which is sending me to a 0 or like a half guard, to just hit certain small spots, okay? So I want you guys to watch me rotate that, and I'm basically just rotating between my techniques right now. I'm rotating techniques. When it's time for the next step, I'll be back to let you guys know. So hope you guys enjoy, and see you soon. Okay, so right now what I'm pretty much doing is just fading the beard in. I believe that a beard should definitely be faded in. It makes the cut transition very smooth into the beard, into the face. You want it to all flow into one symmetrical piece, okay? So that's what I'm doing. Starting with basically my 1/16, rotate between the 1, maybe the half guard, and just debulking, okay? I use the corner of the blade because the beard is small, and I'm going against the grain, and the beard grows down. I don't want to take too much off, so I just lay that clipper flat, and I rotate my into my workspace. Okay, so now it's time to edge the back of Ken's hair. Ken has a wide base to the back of his head. So basically, and Ken doesn't taper the back out really. He keeps it natural. So as you guys can see, I don't really do much of the bottom. And I don't, like I said, Ken's hair grows so wide that I don't want to push it in. Some people push the edge up in to give it that V look in the back. And that's not really the style I like, because when it grows back, it's so much new growth. It just doesn't look as natural and neat. So when it grows back, I want it to grow back in very smooth. So I'm just keeping it wild like it naturally grows. He's a hairy guy, so we just want to keep it nice and smooth and clean him up. To go behind the ear, I use the corner of the blade. You see I'm stretching that ear down with my thumb, and I'm also pulling the skin, so that way it tightens up my workspace, which makes my razor or my clipper have an easier task. Alright, so now it's time for the clipper over comb. What I'm basically doing is just debulking. I'm blending that 2 in with the 4 because I didn't really do too much fading when I cut down the 2. I'm basically lifting, like I said, about a 45-degree angle. I'm pulling the hair out, and I'm finding where the short hair meets the super long, and I'm kind of matching in the middle. Alright, you guys are probably going to have to watch that. That probably wasn't the best explanation, so let me try it again. So basically what happens is the hair on top is a 4. The hair on the sides is a 3. When I pull the hair out, I'm basically looking for the hair on the sides is a 2. So I'm looking for the 3 in between to make it match. Okay? So now what I'm basically doing, scissor over comb, and I'm basically just neatening the hair out. Although I put a 4 on top, there are still a few hairs that are uneven, and I'm basically finding my section. I started with me a guideline. Basically, my very first cut was a guideline. I didn't cut too much off. I basically just took the long hair that was too long and matched it with the shorter hair, okay? And I basically pulled back and stretched, grabbed hair as I went along, and followed that same line technique until the transition, okay? Okay, so if you watch any of my other videos, you'll notice I like to use the bendable blade when I'm doing the curves because it helps with the natural C. It just makes the job easier. So I'm stretching the skin. I put elegant shave gel on there. I'm basically keeping it natural. I comb the hair down. I find the hair that don't match, and I basically neaten it up. If you look on his curve, you see the hair looks kind of thin. So Ken's part used to be lower, but we faded it in because he wanted to put it on the corner where the side edge up meets the front. So that's kind of why that area is a little lighter than everything else. But after I hit the edges, I basically come with the blade against the grain to sharpen it up to make that edge up last longer. I'm hitting it very lightly so that he doesn't get razor bumps, so that he doesn't break out or have irritation. With the front, Ken has a very thin spot in the middle of his edge, but I want to keep it natural, so I'm going to take my comb after I comb it back to stretch back the baby hairs and just edge those up. Okay, like I said, you don't have to really push the edge up back. You just stretch down what needs to be gone and just take off the excess. I'm using the corner of the blade for the corner of the edge up with where the 90-degree angle would be, so that way I can keep it very smooth and it'll make it easier for me to razor edge that part. Needing to keep his eyebrows down, because when the eyebrows are raised and you're trying to edge, it can kind of give you a false area where the liner might be, and you might end up pushing it back. All right, so you guys watch, and I'll see you soon. Okay, for Ken's beard, he likes to keep his beard high, and but I also like to match with the thin spots would be, so that way it gives it a nice full look. I start by the eye because trust me, those little hairs you think you can't see, when you take them off, it makes such a difference. Okay, so I stretch the skin. I'm kind of poking him in the eye a little bit, but I think he'll be okay. I'm not really poking him, but I'm stretching the skin so that way it makes it an easier glide for my razor, so it can just easily take the hair off. Tight skin is the easiest skin to shave. Anyone who shaves will tell you that. So that's why I stretch the skin so much. All right, I pick my spots and then I stretch in that area, so that way, like I said, it'll just smoothly glide off like butter. Behind his ear, I'm also, if you look at my finger that's on the back of the clipper, on the front of the clipper, I'm stretching by his ear to make it easier for the clippers to run. Look at that transformation. Whew. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.
I've been cutting since he was a wee lad. Y'all like the video? Okay. Nice cut, transformation. Oh yeah, ooh wee. Oh wee, that's nasty. There we go.